Music for Bearcat players, directed by Seanie Warren, is assisted by Bethany Taylor. In it, you will see Miss Megan Moger, Miss Michaela Donaldson, Mr. Cole McNeil, Mr. James Levens, Mr. Luke Dillon, Mr. Jared Thompson, Harry. Name our town is Grover Corner, New Hampshire, just across Massachusetts line. Latitude 42 degrees 40 minutes. Longitude 7 degrees 37 minutes. First action is our town. Date, May 7th, 1901. The time is just before dawn. Thank you. The sky can maybe show some freaks alive over the east there beyond that mountain. More star gets warmer or quiet than before I still, doesn't it? Got that bow tie? Alright. Well, let me show you how our town lies. Down here's Main Street. Way back there's the railroad station. Tracks go that way. Polish towns across the tracks and the families. Over there's the Congregational Church. Cross the street's Presbyterian. Methodist Unitarian over there. Baptist down the hollow by the river. Catholics beyond the tracks. It's town hall and post office combined. Jails in the basement. William Jennings Brown can speak to these various steps here. Along here's the row of stores. Nature Post and Horse Walking Plumbing. First automobile's been coming along here in about 5 years. Belong to Bank of Cartwright, our richest citizen. The big White House up on the hill. His grocery store, Mr. Morgan's drugstore. Most steadily in our town manages those two stores once a day. Public school's over yonder. High school's still farther on. Quarter nines, morning, noontime, 3 o'clock afternoon. The whole town can be on screen from those schoolyards. It's their doctor's house, Doc Gibbs. And this is the back door. Here's some scenery, for those who think they have to have scenery. And here's Mrs. Gibbs' garden. Corn, peas, beans, hollyhock, heliotrope, and a lot of burdock. In those days, our town paper come out twice a week. Grover's Corner Sentinel. This is Editor Webb's house. This is Mrs. Webb's garden, just like Mrs. Gibbs's, only a lot of sunflowers too. Right here is a big butternut tree. Nice town. You know what I mean? Nobody very remarkable come out of it, as far as we know. Earliest date in the tombstones up in the cemetery say 1670, 1680. The Grovers and Cartwrights and Gibbs and Herseys. Same names as are here now. Well, as I said, it's about dawn. The only lights on in town across the tracks. We're Polish mothers just had twins. Joe Crow House, where Joe Jr. is getting up early to deliver the morning paper. Depot, where Julia Hawkins just flight to 5:55 to Boston. It's naturally, out of country all around, milk and so on. The lights on for some time. Town people sleep late. Here's Doc Gibbs coming down Main Street now. Here comes his wife coming downstairs to make breakfast. Doc Gibbs died in 1930. New hospital's named after him. Mrs. Gibbs died first, though. Long time ago, in fact. She went out to visit her daughter, Rebecca, who ran an insurance man in Canton, Ohio. Died there. Pneumonia. The body was brought back here, and she's up in the cemetery there now. The whole mess of Gibbs and Herseys. She was Julia Hersey before she married Doc Gibbs in the Congregational Church over there. In our town, we like to know the facts about everybody. That's Doc Gibbs. Got that called half-past 1 this morning. Here goes Mrs. Webb, downstairs to make her breakfast. Joe Grohl Jr. with the Mr. Webb Sentinel.
Morning, Doc.
Morning, Joe.
Somebody been sick up?
No, the pair of twins born over in Polish Town.
You want your paper now?
Yes, I'll take it. Anything serious going on in the world since Wednesday?
Yes, sir. My school teacher, Miss Foster's getting married to a fellow over in Concord.
Well, I declare. How do you boys feel about that?
Well, of course, it's none of my business, but I think if a person starts out to be a teacher, she ought to stay one.
How's your knee, Joe?
Fine, Doc. I never think about it at all. Only like you said, it always tells me when it's going to rain.
What's telling you today, Joe? Going to rain?
No, sir.
Sure?
Yes, sir.
Knee ever make a mistake?
No, sir.
I want to tell you something about that boy Joe Cole there. Joe's awful bright. Graduated in high school here at his class. He got a scholarship to MIT. Graduated ahead of his class here. Was all wrote the box paper at the time. Going to be a great engineer, Joe was. But the war got him. He died in France. All that education for nothing.
Giddy up, Bessie. What's the matter with you today?
Here comes Howard Newsom, living the milk.
Morning, dog.
Morning, Howie.
Somebody sick?
No, a pair of twins over to Miss Warslowski's.
Twins, eh? Town's getting bigger and bigger every year.
Going to rain, Howie?
No, fine day. That'll burn through. Come on, Bessie.
Hello, Bessie. How old is she, Howie?
Going on 17. Bessie's all mixed up about the route ever since the Lockharts stopped taking their quart of milk every morning. Wants to leave him before just the same. Keeps scolding me the whole trip.
Morning, Howie.
Morning, Mrs. Gibbs. Doc's just coming up the street.
Oh, is he? It seems like you're late today.
Yes, I'm something wrong with the separator. Don't know what was. Doc,
Howie?
come on, Bessie.
Everything all right, Frank?
Yes, I declare. Easy's Gibbs.
Well, bacon will be ready in a minute. Sit down and drink your coffee. You can catch a couple hours of sleep this morning, can't you?
Miss Wentworth's coming out at 11. Think I looked about 2. Her stomach ain't what it ought to be.
All told, Frank, you won't get more than 3 hours of sleep. I don't know what's going to become of you. I do wish I could get you to go away and get a rest. I think it'd do you good. Wally! Emily! Time to get up! Emily, 7 o'clock! I declare, you've got to speak to George. It seems like someone's coming over him. He's no help to me at all. I can't get him to cut me some wood.
Is he sassy to you?
No, he just whines. All he thinks about is that baseball. George! Rebecca! Time to get up! George!
George, look sharp!
Yes, Pa?
Don't you hear your mother calling you? Well, I guess I'll go upstairs and get 40 weeks.
Wally! Emily! Wally, you better wash yourself good or I'll come up and do it myself! Ma, what outfit shall I wear? Oh, don't make a noise. Your father's been out all night. Needs his rest. I'm washing on your navy blue with the polka dot collar for you special.
Ma, I hate that outfit.
Oh, hush up with you.
Every day I go to school dressed like a sick turkey.
Rebecca, you always look very nice, dear.
Mama, George is throwing soap at me.
I'll come up there and slap the both of you. That's what I'll do.
Got a factory in our town, too. Hear it? Makes blankets. All right, doing it. Wrong on portion.
Now, children, I won't have it. Breakfast is just as good as any other meal, and I won't have you gobbling it up like wolves. It'll stunt your growth. That's a fact. Now, Wally, put that book up.
Oh, but Mom, I gotta know all about Canada by 10 o'clock.
Wally, you know the rules as well as I do. No books at the table. As for me, I'd rather have my children healthy than bright.
Well, I'm both, Mama. You know I am. I'm the brightest girl in school for my age. I have a wonderful memory.
Eat your breakfast.
I'm bright too. When I'm looking at my stamp collection.
I'll speak to your father about it when he's rested. It seems to me 25 cents is enough for a boy your age. I declare, I don't know how you spend it all.
Oh, Ma, I got a lot of things to buy.
Strawberry phosphates, that's what you buy.
I don't see how Rebecca comes to have so much money. She has more than $1.
I've been saving up gradual.
Well, dear, it's good to spend money every now and then.
Mama, do you know what I love most? Do you? Money.
Eat your breakfast.
Oh, Mama, there's the first stop.
I gotta hurry.
Now walk fast, but don't run. And Wally, pull your pants up at the knee. Emily, stand up straight. Tell Mrs. Foster I send her my best congratulations. Can you remember that, dear?
Yes, Mom.
And you look real nice, Rebecca. Pick up your feet.
Goodbye.
Here, chee-chee-chee-chee-chee. Here, chee-chee-chee. No, not you. Go away, you. Here, chee-chee-chee. You don't belong to me. Don't be so scared. Nobody's gonna hurt you. Good morning, Gretel. How'd you go? Still got that tickling feeling in my throat. I told Charles I didn't realize I'd go to choir practice. Wouldn't be any use. Well, have you tried taking over your voice? Yes, but somehow I can't do that and stay on key. While I'm resting myself, I decided to turn up some of these beans. Oh, well, let me help you. Beans been good to me this year. I've decided to put up 40 quarts if it kills me. The children say they hate them, but I know they're able to get them down all winter. Now, Myrtle, I've got to tell you something because if I don't tell somebody, I'm going to burst. Why, Julia Gibbs. It was Mother's beans. Myrtle, did one of those second-hand furnituremen from Boston call on you last Friday? No. Well, he called on me. At first, I thought he was patient waiting to see Dr. Gibbs. And he wormed his way right into my parlor, and Myrtle Webb, he offered me $350 for Grandmother Wentworth's high blood as I'm sitting here. Why, Julia Gibbs, he did, that old thing. Why, it was so big I didn't know where to put it. I almost gave it to Cousin Hester Wilcox. Where you going to take it, aren't you? I don't know. You don't know? $350. What's come over you? Well, if I can get the doctor to take me on a real trip, I'd sell it like that. You know, Myrtle, it's always been a dream of mine to see Paris, France. Oh, I I don't know. It sounds crazy, I suppose, but I've been promising myself if I ever get the chance.
Well, how does the doctor feel about it?
Well, I did beat about the bush a little bit. I said I got a legacy. That's the way I put it. I think he can take me somewhere.
Well, what do you say about that?
Oh, you know how he is. I haven't heard a serious word out of him since I've known him. No, he said it might make him discontented with Governor's Corners good traipsing about Europe. Better yet, well enough along, he says. We make a trip to the Civil War battlefields every 2 years, and that's enough treat for anybody.
Well, Mr. Webb just admires the way Dr. Gibbs knows everything about the Civil War. Mr. Webb's a good mind to give up Napoleon and move over to the Civil War. Only Dr. Gibbs being one of the greatest experts in the country just makes him despair.
Well, it's a fact. Dr. Gibbs is never as happy when he's in Team or Gettysburg. The times I walked over those hills, Myrtle, tasting it all out, stopping at every bush, like we were going to buy the place.
Well, if that second-hand man is serious about buying it, Julia, you sell it, and then you'll get to see Paris, all right? Just keep talking to us from time to time. That's how I got to see the Atlantic Ocean, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry I mentioned it. It just seems to me that once in your life, before you die, you gotta see a country where they don't speak in English and don't even want to.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Now we're skipping ahead a few hours. First, we want to know a few simple facts about our town. Kind of scientific account, you might say. So as Professor Willard of our State University comes to sketch out the details of our past history here. Is Professor Willard here? Professor Willard?
Here I am.
My name is Professor Willard of our State University. A few brief notes, Professor. Unfortunately, our time is limited.
Grover's Corners. Let me see. Grover's Corners lies in the old Pleistocene granite of the Appalachian Range. I may say it's an old sandy rock. Very proud of that. A shelf of divine salt crossed it with vestiges of the soap shell, and some sandstone outcroppings, but that's all more recent, 200, 300 million years old. Some highly interesting fossils have been found, and they say unique fossils. 2 miles out of town in South Penny's cow pasture. They can be seen at the museum and the university at any time. That is a reasonable time. Shall I read some Fresh River's notes on the meteorological situation, precipitation,
I'm
etc.?
afraid we won't have time for that, Professor. Can we have a few brief notes on the past history of man here?
Yes. Anthropological data, early emerging stock. Kodaki tribes, no evidence for the 10th century of this era. Now entirely disappeared. Possible traces in 3 families. Migration toward the end of the 17th century English rock spot fluid stock. For the most part, 10th century Slav Mediterranean.
And the population, Professor?
In the town limits, 2,640.
Just one moment. Professor,
Oh yes, indeed. The population at the moment is 2,642. The postal district brings in 5 times 7 more, making a total of 3,149. Mortality birth is constant. 5 stage 6,032.
Thank you very much, Professor. We're all very obliged, I'm sure.
Not at all, sir. Not at all.
This way, Professor, and thank you again. Now, political and social reports. Editor Webb. Mr. Webb.
He'll be here in a minute. He just cut his hand eating an apple.
Thank you, Mr. Webb.
Charles, everybody's waiting!
Just a moment, Public Air, the Grover's Corner Sentinel, after our local KV now.
Well, I don't have to tell you we're run here by a board of select men. All males are at the age of 21. Women vote indirect. We're a lower middle class, sprinkling in professional men, 10% illiterate laborers. Politically, we are 86% Republicans, 6% Democrats, 4% Socialists, rest indifferent. Religiously, we are 85% Protestants, 12% Catholics, rest indifferent.
Have you any comments, Editor Webb?
Pretty ordinary town if you ask me. A lot better behaved than most. Probably a lot duller. But young seem to like it well enough. 90% of them graduate from high school and settle down right here to live, even after going away to college.
Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to ask Editor Webb a question?
Oh, I do.
Yes, you, ma'am.
Is it much drinking in Grover's Corners?
Well, ma'am, I don't know what you call much. Saturday nights, the farmhands go down to Ellery Green off stage and holler some. We've got 1 or 2 town drunks. They're always having remorses every time an evangelist comes to town. No, ma'am. Liquor ain't regular in the homes here. except in the medicine chest. Right good for a snake bite. Always was, you know.
Really? Well, thank you.
Is there no one in this town aware of...
Come forward, will you? We can all hear you. What were you saying, miss?
Is there no one in this town aware of social injustice and industrial inequality?
Oh yes, everybody is. Terrible thing. Seems they spend most of their time talking about who's rich and who's poor.
Then why don't they do something about it?
Well, I don't know. Guess we're hunting. Like everybody else. For way the diligent and sensible can rise to the top, and the lazy of course can sink to the bottom. But it ain't easy to find. Meanwhile, we do what we can to help those who can't help themselves. Those that can, we leave alone. Are there any other questions?
Mr. Webb? Mr. Webb, is there any culture or love of beauty in Grover's Corners?
Well, ma'am, not in the sense you mean. Come to think of it, there's some girls who play piano at the high school commencement, but they ain't happy about it. No, ma'am, there ain't much culture. But maybe this is a place to tell you we've got a lot of pleasures of a kind here. We like to watch the sun coming over the mountains in the morning. We all notice the birds. We pay a lot of attention to them. And we watch the seasons change. But that other stuff, ma'am, you're right. There ain't much. Robinson Crusoe in the Bible, and Handel's Largo, we all know that. And Whistler's Mother. But that's just about as far as we go.
So I thought. Thank you, Mr. Webb.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. Now we're going to head back to the town. Early afternoon. All 2,642 added dinners, dished and washed. It was an early afternoon call in our town. Buzzing and humming coming to school buildings. Only a few buggers on Main Street. Horses dozing at the post. You know how it is. Doc gives him his office. Tap will make him say off. Mr. Webb's gardening over there. Just finished cutting his lawn. One man in 10 takes the privilege to put his own lawnmower. No, seriously, I thought. They're the children coming down Main Street now.
You're sweet. Oh, thank you.
Would you like to come over later?
I can't, Lisa. I've got to go home and tell my mother. I promise.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Emily, walk simply. Who do you think you are today?
Poppy, you're terrible. One minute you tell me to stand up straight, and the next you're calling me names. I just don't listen to you.
Golly, never gotten a kiss from such a great lady before.
Excuse me, Miss Forrest. You're out playing the field, young man. And no business playing baseball on Main Street. Awfully sorry, Miss Forrest. Hello, Emily.
Hello, George.
You made a fine speech in class today.
Oh, well, thank you. I was really ready to talk about the Monroe Doctrine, but at the last minute, Miss Corcoran made me talk about the Louisiana Purchase. I worked awfully hard on both.
Gee, Emily, from my window up there, I can just see your head at night doing your homework in your room.
Wait, can you?
Yeah, you certainly do stick to it, Emily. I don't see how you can sit still that long. I guess you like school.
I just figured something that you have to go through.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind it, really. It passes the time.
Yeah, Emily, what do you think? We might work out a telegraph from your window to mine. And maybe once in a while you can give me a hint or two about one of those algebra problems. Oh, I don't mean the answers. Of course not, Emily. Just some little hint.
Well, I think that hints are allowed. So, George, if you get stuck, just whistle. And I'll give you some hints.
Emily, you must be naturally bright, I guess.
I just figured it's the way a person's born.
Yeah, but you see, I want to be a farmer.
Oh.
And my Uncle Luke says whenever I'm ready, I can come over and work on his farm. And if I'm any good at it, I can gradually have it.
Oh, you mean the house and everything?
Yeah. Well, I better be getting out to the baseball field. Thanks for the talk, Emily. Good afternoon, Mrs. Webb.
Good afternoon, George.
So long, Emily.
So long, George.
Come help me string these beans, Emily. Why George Gibbs let himself have a real conversation, didn't he? Why, he must be growing up. How old would George be?
Oh, I don't know.
Let's see. Well, he must almost be 16. recited to your father at supper. What was it about?
The Louisiana Purchase. It was like silk off the spool, Mama. I'm going to give speeches all my life. Are these about big enough?
Try to get them a little bit bigger if you can.
Mama, will you answer me a question serious?
Seriously, dear, not serious.
Seriously, Mama, will you?
Of course I will.
Mama, am I good looking?
Of course you are. All my children have got good features. I'd be ashamed if they hadn't.
That's not what I mean, Mama. What I mean is, am I pretty?
I've already told you, yes, you've got a nice, young, pretty face. I've never heard of such foolishness.
Oh, Mama, you never tell us the truth about anything.
I am telling the truth.
Mama, are you pretty?
Yes, I was. I was the prettiest girl in town. Next to Mamie Cartwright.
But, Mama, you've got to say something about me. Am I pretty enough to get anyone? Well, to get people interested in me?
Now, Emily, you make me tired. Stop it. You're pretty enough for all normal purposes. Now come along and bring that bowl with you.
Mama, you're no help at all.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. I have to go up again here. Thank you, Mrs. Webb. Thank you, Emily. Now, come on. There's still some more parts of the town we want to explore. I think that this is a good time to tell you the car I interested us in building the bank in those corners. Had to give Vermont the marble, sorry to say. And about the front of my office, one of the cornerstone for people to dig up 1,000 years from now. Of course, to put in a copy of New York Times, a copy of Mr. Mitchell's website. I'm kind of interested in this. Some scientific fellows found a way of painting all that green around the blue. Silicate blue. You keep 1,000, 2,000 years. So put it in the Bible, Constitution of the United States, a copy of one of Shakespeare's plays. What do you say, folks? What do you think? You know, Babylon once had 2 million people in it. And all we know about him is the name for the king, the copy contracts, and contracts to sale slaves. Every night, the family sat down for supper, and the father came home from his work and smoked in the chimney. Same's here. Even in ancient Greece and Rome. All we know about the real life of those people is what we can piece together the Georgian poem, the comedy wrote with the theater background. And a copy display, our town, from the cornerstone people live 1,000 years from now. Still no official fact on us. More than the besides in Lindbergh's life. See what I mean? So, people 1,000 years from now. This is the way we were in the province of North New York in the 20th century. This is the way we're growing up. And our marrying, and our living, and our dying. Oh, good deal of time gone by. Hey, clock rider's going on the congregation church. Going home doing his schoolwork. Yes, the day turned it down like a tired clock.
Now look here, everybody. Music come into the world to bring pleasure. Softer. Softer. You need to get it out of your heads that music's only good when it's loud. You live loudness to the Methodists. It couldn't beat them even if you wanted to. Now again, Henry.
Emily!
Hello, George.
Hello!
My, isn't this moonlight terrible? I can't work at all.
Yeah. Emily, did you get the third problem?
Which?
The third.
Why, yes, George. That's the easiest of them all.
Well, I don't see it. Emily, can you give me a hint?
I'll tell you one thing, George. The answer is in yards.
In yards. How do you mean?
In square yards.
Oh. In square yards.
Yes, George. Don't you see?
Yeah.
In square yards of wallpaper.
Oh, wallpaper. Thanks a lot, Emily.
You're welcome, George. Summer nights are terrible. And choir practice going on? You know, I bet if we held our breaths, we could hear the train all the way to Kentucky. Can you hear it?
Mm-hmm. What do you know?
Well, I guess I better get back to my work.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot, Emily. Good night.
Good night, George.
Now, before I forget it, how many of you will be able to come in next Tuesday afternoon and sing at Fred Hersey's wedding? Show of hands? Loud and fun, I'll be right nice. What is the same music as we did at Jane Trowbridge's last month? And now, we'll sing Art Thou Wedding, Art Thou Wedding. This is a question, ladies and gentlemen. Make them talk. Ready?
George, can you come down a minute?
Yes, Pa?
Relax, George. I'll only give you a minute. George, how old are you?
Well, I'm 16, Pa. About to be 17.
What do you want to do after school's over?
You know, Pa, I want to be a farmer on Uncle Luke's farm.
And you'll be willing, will you, to wake up early and milk and feed the stock? And you'll be able to hoe and hay all day?
Sure I will. What do you mean?
Well, while I was in my office today, I heard a funny noise. And what do you think it was? It was your mother chopping wood. There you see your mother, waking up early, cooking meals all day long, washing and ironing, and still she has to go out into the backyard and chop wood. I suppose she just got tired of asking you. I guess she just gave up and decided it would be easier to do it herself. And you eat her meals. You put on the clothes she keeps nice for you. And you run off to play baseball. Like she's some hired girl we keep around the house, but we don't like very much. Well, and you all had to do is bring your attention to it. Here's an extra son. George, I've decided to raise your spending money 25 cents a week. Not, of course, chopping wood for your mother, because that's a present you give her, but because you're getting older. And I imagine there are lots of things you must find to do with it.
Thanks, Pa.
Let's see. Tomorrow's a payday. You can count on it. Probably Rebecca will feel she ought to have one too. I wonder what could have happened to your mother. Choir practice never was as late as it was before.
It's only 8:30, Pa.
I don't know why she's in that choir anyway. She hasn't any voice in the crowd. Traipsing around the streets this hour of night. Just about the time you retire.
Yes, Pa.
Not to notice it, but it's getting worse. No, it isn't, Llewellyn. It's getting better. here so often. My, I hate to go to bed on a night like this. Better hurry, the children will be waiting till all hours. Good night, let's go to bed.
Well, you can't get home safely, will I?
Oh, with this moon, it's as bright as day. Oh, I can see Mr. Soames there scowling at the window. You think we've been to a dance the women folk carry on?
Good night. Good night. Well, we had a real great time.
You're late enough.
Why, Frank, ain't even later than usual.
And you stopping at the border to gossip with a lot of hens?
Oh, Frank, don't be so grouchy. Smell the heliotrope. Isn't that wonderful? What'd you do all the time when I was away?
Oh, I read, as usual. What were the girls gossiping about tonight?
Well, believe me, Frank, there's something to gossip about.
Susan Simpson far gone, was she?
It's the worst I've ever seen her. How about him, Frank? Reverend Ferguson can't forgive her forever.
I suppose I know more about Susan Simpson's affairs than anybody else in this small town. Some people just ain't made for exact small town life. I don't know how that'll end. There's nothing we can do now but just leave it alone. Come, get it.
No, not yet. Frank, I'm worried about you.
What are you worried about?
Well, I think it's my duty to make sure you get a real rest and change. If I get that legacy, well, I'm going to insist on it.
Now, Julia, there's no sense in going over this again.
Frank, you're just being unreasonable.
Come, Julia. It's getting late. Before you know it, you catch cold. I gave George a piece of my mind tonight. I reckon you'll have your wood shop for a while anyway. No. Start getting upstairs.
Oh, dear, there's always so many things to do, it seems like. Oh, you know, Frank, Mrs. Fairchild always locks her front door. All those people in that part of town do.
They're all getting citified. That's the trouble with them. They haven't got nothing fit to burgle, and everybody knows it.
Get out, Rebecca. There's only room for one at this window.
Well, let me look just a minute.
It's your own window.
I did, but there's no moon there. George, do you know what I think? Do you? I think the moon's growing nearer and nearer, and there'll be a big explosion.
Rebecca, you don't know anything. If the moon were getting nearer and nearer, the men that sit up all night with the telescopes would see it first. And they would tell about it, and it would be in all the newspapers.
George, is the moon shining on South America, Canada, and half the whole world?
Sure, probably is.
9:30. Most of the lights are out in our town. There's Constable Warren, trying to feed over the Main Street. He comes Senator Webb, putting his newspaper to bed.
Good afternoon, Bill.
Good evening, Mr. Webb.
Quite a moon.
Yup.
Town quiet tonight?
Susan Simpson's rolling around a little bit. Her husband set out to hunt for her. I just turned the other way. There she is now.
Good evening, Miss Gibson. Seems the town settled down for the night. Good evening. It seems most of the town settled down tonight. Suggest we should do the same. Mind if I walk along ways with you? Good night.
I don't know how that was going to end, Mr. Webb.
Yes, well, she's seen a peck of trouble. One thing after another. Oh, Bill, see my son smoking cigarettes. Give him word, will you? Thanks a lot of you, Bill.
I don't think he smokes those cigarettes, Mr. Webb. Leastways, not more than 2 or 3 a year.
Well, I hope not. Good night, Bill.
Night, Mr. Webb.
Who's that up there? Is that you, Myrtle?
No, it's me, Papa.
Why aren't you in bed?
I can't sleep at all. This moonlight's so wonderful. And the smell of Mrs. Gibbs' heliotropes? Can you smell them?
Yes. Troubles on your mind, Emily?
Troubles, Papa? No.
Well, enjoy yourself. Don't let your mother catch you. Good night, Emily.
Good night, Papa.
I never told you about that letter Jane Crupper got from Mister when she was sick. He wrote Jane a letter, and on the envelope the address was like this. It said, Jane Cruppet, Cruppet Farm, Sutton County, Grover's Corner, New Hampshire, United States of America.
What's so funny about that?
But listen, it's not finished. United States of America, continent of North America, Western Hemisphere, the Earth, the solar system, the universe, the
mind of God. That's what it said in the envelope.
Huh? What do you know?
And the postman brought it just the same.
What do you know?
That's the end of the first act, folks. You can get some refreshments now if you like. 3 years have gone by. Yes, the sun's come up over 1,000 times. Summers and winters have cracked the mountains a little bit and rain brought down some of the dirt. Some babies have won your board for we can talk early sentences already. A number of young people who thought they were right when it's cry. Notice you can't find out flood stairs like they used to. Now without their heart fluttering a little. Yes, all can happen in 1,000 days. They just been pushing me to try another way to do. A number of young people fell in love and got married. Yes, the mountain got away a bit of few cracks and dents. Gallons and gallons of water by the mill. Here and there, and homeless up under a roof. Who's still in the world is married. You know what I mean? In our town, there ain't hardly an exception. We're still big cons and everybody's married. First act called daylight. This act's called love and marriage. There's another act coming up after this. I reckon you guess what it's about. So, it's 3 years later. It's summer, 1904, just after high school commencement. It's time most of the young people jump up and get married. Yes, as they pass their final examinations and sisters are ready for solid geometry, they suddenly feel themselves fit to be married. So, another day's begun. Except this time from raining, and pouring and thundering. Mrs. Gibbs' garden and Mrs. Webb's here, drenched. All those pea vines and bean poles, drenched. All yesterday, the rain was like curtains being blown along Main Street. Maybe in a minute now. There. We're 5:45 in Boston. You and the missus coming downstairs to make breakfast, just though it's an ordinary day. I don't have to point out to the women on my audience that say these people, both those ladies, cook 3 meals a day, one for 20 years, the other for 40, and no summer vacation. Raise 2 children apiece, wash, clean the house, and never a nervous breakdown. It's like one of those good old West poets said, you get to love life to have life, to have life to love life. What they call a vicious circle.
Giddy up, Bessie.
Here comes Hal Newsom, living milk. Inside world, living on paper like a brother corner.
Morning, Hallie.
Morning, Si. Anything in the papers ought to know?
Nothing much, except for losing about the best baseball pitcher Grover's Corners ever had, George Gibbs.
Reckon he is.
He can hit and run bases, too.
Yep, mighty fine ball player. Whoa, Bessie. I reckon I can stop and talk about the line, too.
I don't see how someone could give up something like that just to get married. Would you, Hallie?
Can't tell, Si. Never had no talent that way. Good morning, Bill.
Morning, Hospital.
Morning, Si. Morning, Allie.
You're up early.
See if there's anything to do to prevent this flood. River's been rising all night.
Si Kroll's all worked up here about George Gibbs retiring from baseball.
Yep, that's the way it goes. Back in '84, we had players die. George Gibbs couldn't even touch him. By the name of Hank Tide.
Yes,
Went
sir.
down Maine, came to Parsons. Wonderful ball player. How's what it look to you, Allie?
It ain't bad. Thanks so much. I think maybe it'll clear up for good.
Bye.
Morning, Hallie. Do you think it's gonna rain again?
Morning, Mrs. Gibbs. We'll rain so much, I think maybe it'll clear up for good.
Well, I certainly hope it will.
I'll hopefully be happy today.
I'm gonna have a house full of wishes. How it looks like to me, I'll need 2 cream and 3 milk.
My wife says to tell you we hope we'll both be very happy at the wedding. No, they will.
Oh. Well, tell your wife when she gets into the wedding, all right?
Yes, and she'll be there. She'll be there if she can. Good morning, Mrs. Webb.
Good morning, Mr. Newsom. I know I told you 4 points, but I hope you can spare me another.
Yes, I'm in the 2 of green.
Let's start reading again, Mr. Newsom.
Well, I was just talking to Miss Gibbs how it rained so much. I think maybe it'll clear up for good. My wife says to tell you we hope they'll both be very happy at the wedding. No, they will.
Thank you, and thank Mrs. Newsom. We're counting on seeing you at the wedding.
Yes, I couldn't miss that. Come on, Bessie.
Well, Mom, the day has come. You're losing one of your chicks.
Frank Gibbs, don't you say another word. I feel like crying every minute. Sit down, drink your coffee.
The groom's upstairs shaving himself. Only there ain't an awful lot to shave. Whistling and singing, like he's glad to leave us. Every now and then he says, I do to the mirror, but it don't sound convincing to me.
I declare, Frank, I don't know how he make it. I've arranged his clothes and see to it that he's put on warm things. Frank, they're just too young. Ellie won't think of such things. He'll catch death cold within a week.
I was just remembering my wedding morning, Julia.
Well, now don't you start that fight, Gibbs.
I was the scariest young fellow in the state of New Hampshire. I was afraid I'd make a mistake for sure. And when I saw you coming down that aisle, I thought you were the prettiest thing I'd ever seen. Only trouble was I'd never seen you before. There I was in the congregation of the church, raining, total stranger.
And how do you think I felt, Frank? Blends perfectly. Awful things. Flashes, that's what they are. Here. I made something.
Why, Julia Hersey, French toast.
It ain't hard to make it. I had to do something.
How'd you sleep last night, Julia?
Well, heard a lot of hours to go.
Yes. I get a shock every time I think of George setting out to be a family man. That great, dangling thing. I tell you, Julia, there's nothing so terrifying in the world as a son. The relation of father and son is the darndest, awkwardest.
Well, mother and daughter ain't no picnic, let me tell you.
They have their own problems, I suppose, but that's none of our concern. Everyone has a right to their own troubles.
Yes, people on this go through life. Two by two. And they naturally love them.
You know the things I was first afraid of when I married you, Julia?
No, go on with you.
I was afraid we wouldn't have much material for conversation more than lasts a few weeks. I was afraid we were not near meals in silence. That's a fact. Well, you and I have been conversing for 20 years now without any notable spells.
Well, good weather, bad weather. Ain't there any choice? But I always find something to say. Did you have your upstairs?
No. Only day of the year Rebecca hasn't been managing everybody's business up there. She's hiding in her room. I got the impression that she's crying.
Lord's sakes, it's got to stop. Rebecca, come get your breakfast.
Good morning, everybody. Only 5 more hours to live.
George, Gibbs, where are you going?
I'm just stepping across the grass to see my girl.
George is ready to torrent. You put on your overshoes. You don't go out of this house without being prepared for it.
Ma, it's just a
You'll
snack.
catch the cold and cough through all out the service.
George, do as your mother tells you.
From tomorrow on, you kill yourself in all weathers. But while you live in my house, you live wisely, thank you. Maybe Mrs. Webb is used to college at 7 o'clock in the morning. Here, have a cup of coffee.
I gotta go. Morning, Mother Webb.
Goodness, George, you're fine to me. Now, George, you can come in and stay out of the weather, but you know I can't ask you to stay.
Oh, why not?
Well, George, you know as well as I do, the groom can't see his bride on his wedding day. No, until he sees her in the church.
That's just an old superstition.
Morning, Pop.
Morning, Miss Webb.
Good morning, George.
Miss Webb, you don't believe in that old superstition, do you?
George, there's a lot of sense in some superstitions.
Millions have followed it, George, and we don't want to be the first to find the basic custom.
How's Emily?
She hasn't woken up yet.
Emily's asleep?
Well, no wonder we were up till all hours, so we packed. And I'll tell you what I'll do. Sit here and have this cup of coffee with Mr. Webb, and I'll go upstairs and make sure she doesn't come down and surprise you. There's some bacon too, but don't be long about it.
Well, George, how are you?
Fine. Just fine. Mr. Webb, what sense is there in that old superstition?
Well, George, you see, on our wedding day, a girl's head is apt to be full of clothes, one thing and another. Don't you think that's probably it?
Yes, I've never thought of that.
A girl's apt to be mite nervous on her wedding day.
I wish a fellow could get married without all that marching up and down.
Every man who has ever lived has felt that way about it, but it hasn't been any use. It's women folk who've built up weddings these days. A man looks pretty at a wedding, all those good women standing shoulder to shoulder make sure their knots tight in a mighty public way.
But you believe in it, don't you, Mr. Webb?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Marriage is a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. Don't you forget that.
No, sir. Mr. Webb, how old were you when you got married?
Well, you see, I'd taken time to get settled and I'd been away to college. But Mrs. Webb, she wasn't much older than Emily. Oh, age hasn't much to do with it, George. Not compared with other things.
What were you going to say, Mr. Webb?
I don't know. Was I going to say anything? George, I was thinking of some advice my father gave me when I was getting married. Charles, he said, Charles, start off rather showing her his boss. Give her an order, even if it doesn't make any sense. Notice, he said, if anything about her irritates you, conversation, anything, get up, leave the house. That'll make it clear to her. And notice, he said, never, never let her know how much money you have. Never.
Mr. Webb, I don't know if I could ever.
So I took the opposite of my father's advice, and I've been happy ever since. Let that be a lesson to you, George. Don't take advice on personal matters. George, are you going to raise chickens on your farm?
What?
Are you going to raise chickens on your farm?
Well, Uncle Luke's never been much interested, but I
A
thought...
book came to me the other day about a philo system on raising chickens. I want you to read it. I thought I'd start in a small way and put an incubator in the cellar.
Charles, are you talking about that old incubator again? I thought you two would be talking about something worthwhile.
Well, Myrtle, if you want to give the boys some good advice, I'll leave you alone with him.
Now, George, Emily has to come down and eat her breakfast. She sent you her love, but she doesn't want to lay eyes on you. Goodbye, George.
Goodbye.
Myrtle, I guess you don't know about that older superstition.
What do you mean, Charles?
Since the cavemen, no bridegroom to see his father-in-law on the day of the wedding, or near it. Now remember that.
Thank you very much. Interrupting again here. See, where your scholars began. This one spent some lifetime together. Small interest how things like that began. You know how it is. 21 or 22, make some big decisions and whip your 70. And the Lord for years. Now why here leading to the family society and get it out for you? How does that thing begin? George, I'm going to show you now. Dr. Howe knew that the saying goes, they're meant for one another. But before I do, I'd like to remember what it's like to be young. Particular days when you're first in love. You're like a person. Sleepwalking. Being quite steady trees are in. Getting quiet here if anyone was steady again. You're just a little bit free. Remember that, please? I was coming out of high school at 3 o'clock. George has been elected president of the junior class, and as of June, he'll be the president of the senior class all next year. And we've just been elected secretary and treasurer. I don't have to tell you how important that is. Yep, yeah, they're coming to Main Street right now.
Emily, would you like to study with me later? I can't, Louise. I've got to go home.
Okay.
Goodbye. Lizzie, we could come over later and do lunch. Yes, I'll ask my mom. All right, Tilly, you have to.
Excuse me, Emily? Do you mind if I carry home your books for you?
Why, thank you. It isn't far.
Well, wait just 1 minute. Hey, Bob, if I'm a little late for practice, give Herb some Long Islands.
Goodbye, Lizzie. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Lizzie. I'm awfully glad you were elected too, Emily.
Well, thank you.
Emily? Why are you mad at me?
I'm not mad at you.
You know, you've been treating me so funny lately.
George, now that you mention it, I might as well come right on and say it. Bye, Mrs. Corcoran.
Oh, goodbye, Mrs. Corcoran. What is it?
Well, George, I don't like the change that's come over you in the past year. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but I've got to tell the truth and shame the devil.
A change? What do you mean?
Well, to a year ago, I used to like you a lot, and I would watch you as you did everything, because we'd been friends for so long. But then, you began spending all of your time at baseball, and you never stopped to talk to anybody anymore. Not even your own family you didn't. And George, what's a fact? You got awful conceited and stuck up. All the girls say so. They might not say it to your face, but that's what they say behind your back. And it hurts me to hear them say it, but I've got to agree with them a little. Now, I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, George, but I can't be sorry that I said it.
I'm glad you said it, Emily. I never thought that such a thing was happening to me. I guess it's hard for a fellow not to have a few faults creep into his character.
Well, I expect a man to be perfect, and I think he should be.
Well, I don't think it's possible to be perfect, Emily.
Well, my father is, and as far as I can see, your father is. There's no reason why you shouldn't be too.
Well, I feel like it's the other way around. That men aren't naturally good, but girls aren't.
Well, you might as know right now, George, that I'm not perfect. It's not as easy for a girl to be as perfect as a man because we girls, we're more nervous. No, I'm sorry I said all that about you. I don't know why I said it.
Emily?
And suddenly I can see it's not the truth at all and it isn't as important anyway.
Emily, would you like an ice cream soda or something before you go home?
Well, thank you. I would. I'm sorry.
Hello, Stu. How are you? Good afternoon, Mr. Slocum.
Hello, George. Hello, Emily. What do you have? My Emily Webb. You knew crying about it.
She just got an awful scare, Mr. Morgan. She just got run over by that hardware store wagon. Everybody says Tom Huggins shot like a crazy man.
Well, now, take a sip of water, Emily. Fellowship up. Tell you that both boys across Main Street these days, or it's every year. What do you have?
I'll have a strawberry frosting, Mr. Morgan.
No. Emily, have an ice cream soda with me. 2 strawberry ice cream sodas, Mr. Morgan.
2 strawberry ice cream sodas. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There are 125 persons go over his corners this minute. Talking to you. State inspectors in here yesterday. Now they're bringing these auto deals. I tell you, the best thing to do is to stay home. Why? Remember a time when a dog asleep all day in the middle of Main Street without nothing come along to disturb him. There they are. Enjoy. It's Miss Ellis. What can I do for you?
George, they're so expensive.
No. Don't you think that? We're celebrating our election. And you know what else I'm celebrating?
No.
I'm celebrating because I have a friend that tells me all the things that ought to be told to me.
George, please don't think that. I don't know why I said it. I mean, it wasn't
No,
true.
Emily, you stick to it. I'm glad you spoke to me like you did. But you'll see. I'm going to change so quick. You bet I'm going to change. Emily, I want to ask you a favor. Emily, if I go away to State Agricultural College, do you write me a letter every once in a while?
Certainly will. I certainly will, George. It seems that being away for 3 years, you'd get out of touch with things. And maybe letters from Grover's Corners wouldn't be so interesting after a while. I mean, Grover's Corners isn't the most interesting place when you think of all New Hampshire, but I think that it's a very nice town.
The day wouldn't come when I wouldn't want to know everything that's happening here. I know that's true, Emily.
Well then, I'll try to make my letters interesting.
Emily, when I meet a farmer, I ask him if it's important to go to agricultural school to be a good farmer.
My George.
Yeah, and some of them even say that it's a waste of time, that you can get all that information from the pamphlets that the government sends out. Uncle Luke's getting old. He's about ready for me to take over the farm tomorrow if I could.
Why?
Like you said, Emily, being gone all that time, and other places and meeting new people? Gosh, if anything like that could happen, I don't want to go away. I bet new people aren't any better than the old ones. I bet they never are. Emily, you're as good a friend as I've got. I don't need to go to new places to meet new people.
Well, George, maybe it is important for you to go and learn about soils and cattle judging and those sorts
to make up my mind right now. I won't go. I'll tell Paul about it tonight.
Why, George, I don't see why you have to decide right now. That's almost a whole year away.
Emily, I'm glad you spoke to me about that fault in my character. What you said was right, but there was one thing wrong in it. And that was when you said, for a year now, I haven't been noticing people. And why, you, for instance, why, you said you were watching me while I did everything. I was doing the same thing about you all the time. Why, sure, I thought of you as one of the chief people I thought about. Always make sure where you're sitting on the bleachers and who you were sitting with. And for the past 3 days, I've been trying to walk home with you, but something's always gotten in the way. Like yesterday, I was standing against that wall, waiting for you, and you walked home with Miss Corcoran.
The way George likes something funny. How could I have known? See, I thought
Listen,
that...
Emily. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to agricultural school. I think that once you find a person that you're very fond of, I mean, a person that's very fond of you too and likes you enough to be interested in your character, well, I think that's just as important as college is, and even more so. That's what I think.
Well, I think that it's very important too, George.
Emily?
Yes, George?
Emily, if I do improve, make a big change, would you be? I mean, could you be?
I am now, George. I always have been.
Well, this has been a mighty important talk that we've been having.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Well, wait just 1 minute. I'll walk you home. Mr. Morgan, I have to go home and get the money to pay for this.
What's that, George Gibbs? You need to tell me.
Yes, Mr. Morgan, but I had good reasons. Look, you can hold on to my gold watch. I'll be back in just a minute.
That's all right, George. Your watch, I'll trust you.
I'll be back in 5 minutes, Mr. Morgan.
5 to 10 years, George Gibbs. Not a day over. All of your shot, Emily?
Why, yes, Mr. Morgan, thank you.
I'm ready.
Well, now ready to get on with the wedding. There are a lot of things to be said about a wedding. There are a lot of thoughts going during a wedding. We can't fit all in one wedding, naturally. Especially not one in girls' corners throughout the peninsula. This wedding I've let the minister. That gives me the right to say more things about it. While now, but it's serious. See, some churches say the marriage is a sacrament. I don't quite know what that means, but I guess. It's like what Mrs. Gibbs said in the video. People made was 2 by 2. This is a good wedding. Even at a good wedding, people are still put together with a long group of 8 on 8 people lines. We thought that ought to be in our wedding too. We were here with a ski and on stage at all. Y'all know who that is. It's like one of those European fellows said. Every child born in the world is nature's attempt to make a perfect human being. Well, we've seen nature pushing her time for some time now. We all know she's interested in quantity, but I think she's interested in quality too. That's why I'm in the ministry. Don't forget all the other witnesses, ancestors, millions of them. Most of them said to live 2 by 2 themselves, millions of them. I like my sermon. Wasn't very long anyway.
came over me at breakfast. There was Emily eating her breakfast. She's done for 17 years, about to go off and eat it in someone else's home. Yes, I suppose that's it. Oh. And Emily, she suddenly said, I can't eat another mouthful. She laid her head down and she cried. Oh, I've got to say it. There's something downright awful about sending our girls into marriage this way. I hope her girlfriends have told her a thing or two. I know it's cruel, but I couldn't bring myself to tell her anything. I went into it blind as a bat myself. The whole world is wrong, and that's what's the matter. Oh, there they come.
George! Hey, George! Look at him, fellas. He's scared to death. Don't look so innocent, you old geezer. We know what you're thinking. Don't disgrace the team, big boy. Woo!
All right, that's enough of that. Used to be an awful lot of things that wasn't in the old days. Rome and such. More civilized now. So they say.
George, what's the matter?
I don't want to grow old. Why's everybody pushing me so?
George, you're funny.
No, Ma, listen to me.
No, George, you're mad now.
Oh, listen to me. For the last time, the only thing I ask is to be a fella.
George, you've made much hair. You now stop. I'm ashamed.
What? Where's Emily?
George, you gave me such a turn.
Cheer up, Ma. I'm getting married. And Ma, you say Thursday nights. Emily and I are coming over every Thursday night for dinner. Come on. Stop crying. We gotta get ready for this.
I've never felt so alone in my whole life. And George over there, looking so... Well, I hate him. I wish he were dead. Oh, Papa!
Emily, don't get upset.
Papa, I don't want to get married.
Everything's going to be alright.
Papa, why can't I stay a while just as I am?
Now stop and think about it.
Papa, do you remember all the time you used to say that I was your girl? Papa, there must be somewhere we can go. I could work for you. I'll cook, I'll clean house.
Emily, you mustn't think such things. Everything's going to be alright. George is a fine man. You're marrying a fine man. George, can you come here a minute? Why, George is the finest fellow in the world. George, I'm giving away my daughter. Can you take care of her?
And Mr. Webb, I want to try.
Emily? I'm going to do my best. Emily, I love you. I need you.
If you love me, George, help me. All I want is someone to love me.
I will. Emily, I'll try.
And I mean forever, George. Do you hear me? Forever and forever.
Come, now you know everything's going to be okay.
You, George, take this woman, Emily, to be your wedded wife. How?
Oh, perfectly lovely wedding. Loveliest wedding I ever saw. Oh, I do love a good wedding, don't you? Doesn't she make a lovely bride?
I do. You, Emily, take this man, George, to be your wedded husband.
Oh, don't know when I've seen such a lovely wedding. But I always cry. I don't know why it is, but I always
to see young people happy and don't harm. Oh, I think it's lovely.
You may now kiss your bride. I've married over 200 couples in my day. Do I believe in it? I don't know. John Doe marries Jane Doe. Millions of them. The cottage, go-kart, Sunday afternoon drive in the Ford. The first rheumatism, the grandchildren, the second rheumatism, the deathbed, reading of the will. Once in 1,000 times it's interesting. Well, let's have Wendelson's wedding march.
Aren't they such a lovely couple? Oh, I'm sure they'll be happy. I always say, happiness, that's the important thing. The important thing is to be happy.
That's the end of the second act, folks. We'll take a quick intermission. This time, 9 years gone by. Summer, 1913. Gradual changes in Willow's Corners. Horses getting rare. Farmers coming town of Fords. Most every lost guy's doors now tonight. Ain't been any further in town yet. Nobody's heard about it. Surprise though. A hole? Things don't change much around here. This is certainly an important part of Willow's Corners. It's on a hilltop. Windy hilltop. Lots of sky, lots of clouds, lots of sun and many stars. Comparing fine afternoons and rains on windy hills. Off blue they are. Over there by Lake Sunapee and Lake Umbersock, and way up, yeah, glass. The White Mountains, Mount Washington, the Conway and North Conway. Of course, their favorite mountain, Mount Monarch, right over there. All in town light around it. Gaffney and East Gaffney and Petersville and Dublin. And there, all the way down to Rose Corners. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot up here. Mountain Laurel in my life. Not too much like the Bear and Woodlawn is working. And I at the same time over here in New Hampshire. So you hear the old stones? 1670, 1680. Drawing on the people from long way into the independence. Some people walk by here. Lots of funny words and tombstones. They don't do me harm. And geologists come from Boston. They came by sleeping with their ancestors. They want to make sure that their daughters of the American Revolution will make one. I guess I can illegal. We already can move the human races today from later nonsense. Well, there's Civil War veterans. Iron flag in the branches. Cash boys. Had a notion that the Union ought to be kept together. They never see more than 50 miles from themselves. All in his name, friends. United States of America. United States of America. No one died about it. Over here from the Board of Circulars, we send the connected to here's the suspension, or the congregation of prayer. Here's the songs, we know the way so. You remember, a lot of others too. Your what boy? Was. Hank Burris and the Boy Scout took the top notch. Yeah, sophomore stars playing up down here. People as wild as you about the roads up this hill. You all know how it is. Man time. Sunny days, rainy days, snow. We're all glad we don't get replaced. We'll come here ourselves when our fate's over. Now, there's some things that we all know, we don't think about and look at them very often. We all know something's eternal. And houses and names. Name earth, name stars. We all know way down deep in our bones is something eternal. And something has to do with human beings. All the great people are living on. Living almost after thousands of years. Surprised that we was old. You know as well as I do. The dead don't stand trust unless they live and people along. Gradually, it was whole year. The ambitions they had, the pleasures they had. For love, they take something. Get weaned away from it. That's the way I put it. Weaned away. The here firm burns away, burns out. They slowly learn different ones on the world's corners. They're waiting. They're waiting for something they know is coming. Something important, great. Aren't they waiting for the eternal coming to come out for them? Now, something you're gonna say, maybe hurt your feelings. That's the way it is. Mother and daughter, husband and wife, enemy and enemy. Money and miser. All those trailing important things how you go around here. What's left? Your memory's gone. Your identity, Mrs. Smith. Well, there's some other people. There's first daughter, undertaker supervising a new mid grade. Look at the Rose Moore girl, left hand of God West.
Good afternoon, Mr. Potter.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me see you. What are you?
I'm Samantha Craig.
Grace is like five. Well, the people actually know you back, you've been a long time since.
Yes, I've been away over 12 years. My husband is in business out in Buffalo now, Joe. But we were in the East when we heard news of my cousin's death. So we thought we'd combine things a little and come see the old home. You look well.
Yes, yes. Can't complain. Very sad our journey today, Samantha.
Yes.
Yes, I always said I hate to supervise when the first was taken. I had to come in early today. My son is supervising at home. They'll be here in a few minutes now.
Old farmer McCarty. I used to do chores for him after school. He had little Jacob.
We were farm was right here a number of years ago.
Why, this is my Aunt Julia. I've forgotten that she'd, of course.
Yes, God gives lost his wife, 30 years ago. About this time. Today's another pretty bad blow for him, too.
That's my sister Carrie's daughter, Samantha Craig.
I'm always uncomfortable when they're around.
Susan.
Did they choose their own verses much, Joe?
No, not usual. Most people breathe.
Doesn't sound like my Aunt Julia. There aren't many of those first and sisters left now. Let me see. Where are... I wanted to look at my father's and mother's...
Over there with the Craigs. Avenue Webb.
She was an earnest at church, wasn't she? Drank a lot, we used to say.
No one was supposed to know about it. She seemed in a peck of trouble. Took her own life, you know.
Oh, did she?
Hung herself in the attic. They tried to hush her up, but of course got around. She chose her own cat. You can see it there. It ain't a verse exactly.
Why, it's just some notes of music. What is it?
Oh, I wouldn't know. It was written up in the Boston papers at the time.
Joe, what did she die of?
Who?
My cousin.
Oh, didn't you know? Had some trouble bringing her baby into the world. Was her second though. But his little boy about 4 years old.
The grave's gonna be here.
Yes, ain't much of a room amongst the Gibbs. You're gonna excuse me now. I see that coming.
Who is it, Julia?
My daughter, Emily Webb.
What I play. Rode up here, must have been awful muddy. What did she die of, Julia?
In childhood.
Childhood. I'd forgotten all about that. My, wasn't life awful? And wonderful. Wonderful. Was it?
Susan, now remember.
I remember everything. Perfectly well remember. And I remember everything past graduation exercises. Emily was one of the brightest girls I ever known in high school. I heard Principal Williams say so time after time. I called on her every time. That's when I died. Perfectly beautiful person.
It's the same red people done.
Yep. Right, smart.
I'm always like that. I was hoping they'd say what happened.
Hello, Miss Gibbs.
Hello, Mr. Gibbs. Emily.
is just the best place you ever saw. We thought about you all the time. We wanted to show you the great long cement drinking fountain we got for the stop. We bought that out of the money you left us. Why, yes, Mother Gibbs, don't you remember? The legacy you left us. Why, it was over $350.
Yes, I believe.
Well, there's a patent device on it, so that it never overflows, and it never sinks beneath a certain mark they have there. Oh, it's fine. It won't be the same to George without me. It's a lovely farm. My little boy's spending the day at Mr. Carter's house. Mrs. Carter, my little boy's spending the day at your house. Yes, he loves it there. Mother Gibbs, we have a Ford too. It never gives us any trouble. I don't drive it though. Mother Gibbs, when does this feeling go away?
Shh. You're just waiting impatient.
I know. When Mother Gibbs, look, they're finished. They're going. Shh. Look, Father Gibbs is bringing you some of my flowers, Mother Gibbs. He looks just like George, doesn't he? I never realized how troubled and how in the dark life persons are. I loved him so. From morning till night. It's all they ever are. It's trouble.
A little cooler than it was. Yes, the rain's cooled off a bit. Those northeast winds always do the same things, don't they? If it isn't, it rains at 3 days below.
Mother Gibbs, one can go back into living. I know it, I can feel it. Just then for a moment I was thinking about the farm. And I was there. Oh, and my baby was in my lap. It was as plain as day.
Yes, of course you can.
Oh, I can go and live all those days over again. Why not?
All I can say is, Emily, don't.
It's true, isn't it? I can go and live. Back there. Again.
Yes. Don't try. You soon come back here.
But I won't live over a sad day. I'll choose a happy one. I'll choose the first day I knew I loved George. Why should that be painful?
You not only live it, you watch yourself living it.
Well, yes.
If you watch it, you see the thing, day, down there, you never know. See the future. You know what's going to happen afterwards.
But is that painful? Why?
That's not the only reason why you shouldn't do it, Emily. When you've been here longer, you'll see there are life here, so forget all that and be prepared for what's ahead. When you've been here longer, you'll understand.
Mother Gibbs, how could I ever forget that life? It's all I know. It's all I had.
Oh, Emily, it isn't wise. Really, it isn't.
But it's something I must know for myself. I'll choose a happy day anyway.
No, choose an unimportant day. Choose the least important day in your life. It'll be important enough.
Then it can't be since I was married. Or since my baby was born. Why? I can choose a birthday at least, can't I? I choose my 12th birthday.
All right? February 11th, 1899, a Tuesday. You want any special time of day?
Oh, I went the whole day.
We get it done. Never been stoned for several days and just been clearing up the night before. The sun's coming up.
Oh, look! Why, there's Main Street! Why, look! There's Mr. Morgan's dumpster before he changed it! Oh, and over there's the livery stable.
Yes, this is 1899. This is 14 years ago.
This is the town I knew as a little girl. Oh, and look! Here's the old white fence that used to be around our house. Oh, I'd forgotten that. I loved it so. Are they inside?
Yes. Your mother will be coming downstairs in a minute for breakfast.
Will she?
You remember your father been away for several days. Just came back in the morning train.
No.
Then went to make a speech in his college at West New York Clinton.
Oh, look! There's Howie Newsom!
Giddy up, Bessie. Bessie. this morning. Rescued party on the porch down there. Got drunk, fell asleep in the swimming trip. Going in first dead. Thought he was in bed when I shook him.
Children, time to get up! Oh, Mama! Oh, Mama, I'm here! Oh, how young Mama looks. I never knew Mama was ever that young.
You can come dressed by the 5 you'd like, but hurry! Good morning, Mr. Newsom. Cold.
Yes, and tend my loom at my barn.
Think of it. Keep yourself wrapped up.
You do?
Mama, I can't find my blue hair ribbon anywhere.
Just open your eyes, dear, that's all. I laid it out for you special on the dresser. If it were a snake, it would bite you.
Yes, yes.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Mr. Webb. You're up early.
Yes, I'm back to the old college. Any troubles here?
Polish fella got drunk, fell asleep in snowdrifts. Darn near frozen to death he was.
Let's get it in the paper.
Wasn't much.
Papa.
Good morning, Mother.
How'd it go, Charles?
Pretty good, I suppose. Told them a few things. Everything all right here?
Yes, can't think of anything that happened special. Been right cold. Howie Newsom says it's 10 below over to his barn.
Yes, it was even colder in Hamilton. Students' ears were falling right off. It ain't Christian. Paper have any mistakes in it?
None that I noticed. Coffee's ready when you want it. Charles, it's Emily's birthday. Did you remember to get her something?
Oh yes, I have something here. Where's my girl? Where's my birthday girl?
Don't interrupt her now, Charles. She's slow enough as it is. Children, hurry up. I don't want to call you again.
I can't bear it. Why, you're so young and so beautiful. Why did they ever have to get old? Oh, Mama, Mama, I'm here. Why, I'm grown up. I love you all and everything. I can't look at everything quite hard enough. Good morning, Mama.
Oh, very happy special present from a special girl. And a very happy return. There's some surprises waiting for you on the table.
Oh, Mommy, you shouldn't have. Can't.
But birthday or no birthday, I want you to eat your breakfast good and slow. I want you to grow up to be a good, strong girl. That and the blue papers from your Aunt Carrie's. And I reckon you can guess who brought over that postcard album. George Gibbs. Must have come in the cold pretty early. Right nice of him.
George. I'd forgotten that.
Chew your bacon good and slow. Will keep you warm on a cold day.
Oh, Mama. Mama, look at me 1 minute. As though you really saw me, Mama. 14 years have gone by, Mama. Why? I'm dead. But you're a grandmother. I married George Gibbs. Wally's dead too. His appendix burst on a camping trip to North Conway. Why, he felt just terrible about it. Don't you remember, Mama? But now, for 1 moment, we're all together. For 1 moment, we're happy, Mama. Oh, let's look at one another.
Oh, and that and the yellow paper is something I found on most of your grandmother's things. You're old enough to wear it, so I thought you'd like it.
Oh, and this is from you, Mama. Why, it's perfect. It's just what I wanted. It's beautiful.
Oh, well, I hoped you'd like it. Your Aunt Dora can find those copies. I'd send all the way to Boston for it. Oh, and Wally has something for you, too. He made it in the annual training class. He's very proud of it. Make sure to make a big fuss about it. Oh, and your father has a surprise for you. I don't know what it is myself. Oh, here he comes.
Where's my girl? Where's my birthday girl?
No, I can't go on. It goes by so fast. We don't even have
So all of this is going on, and we never even realize it. I'm ready to go back now. But first, one more look. Goodbye. Goodbye, world. Goodbye, Grover's Corners. Oh, and Mama and Papa. Goodbye. The clock's ticking. Oh, and Mama's sunflowers. And new iron dresses. And hot baths. And food. Oh, and coffee. Goodbye to sleeping and waking up. Earth, you're too wonderful for anybody to notice you. Do any human beings realize life when they live it? Every single minute?
No. Saints and the poets, maybe. They do some.
I'm ready to go back now. Were you happy? No. I should have listened to you. It's all human beings are. Just blind people.
Look, it's clear now. The stars are coming out.
Mrs. Stimson, I should have listened to them.
Yes. Now you know. Now you know. That's what it was to be alive. To move about in a cloud of ignorance. To go up and down trampling on the feelings of those about you. To spend and waste time as though you had a million years. To be always at the mercy of one self-centered passion or another. Now you know. That's what it was to be alive. Ignorance and blindness.
Now, Susan Stinson, that ain't the whole truth and you know it. Emily, look at that star. I forget his name.
My boy Joel was a sailor. Knew them all. He'd sailed the Portuguese, you can tell them all by name. Yes, sir. Wonderful.
Stars, none of good company.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Here's one of them.
That's funny. Ain't a time for one of them to be here. Goodness sakes.
Oh, Mother Gibbs. It's George. Shh. It's George. My boy Joel, who knew the stars. He used to say it took millions of years for that speck of light to get to Earth. Don't seem like the body could believe it, but that's what he used to say. Millions of years.
Goodness. That's no way to put it.
We ought to be home.
Mother Gibbs,
Yes, Emily?
they don't understand, do they?
No, dear. They don't.
Most everybody's asleep in Grover's Corners. We have a few lights on. Depot, Julie Hoggins watched the Albany train go by. Somebody's setting up late and talking livery stable. Yes, it's clearing up. There are the stars, doing their old crisscross journey to the sky. Scholars haven't quite settled the matter yet. They seem to think there's no living beings up there. Just chalk or fire. Only this one. Drain away. Drain away to make some of itself. Train so bad, every 16 hours we'll be glad time to get a rest. 11 o'clock, Grover's Corners. You get a good rest too. Good night.